To the Madhouse. Today in Path of Exiles 2 Early Access Beta, I come to you with a setup for co-op players, people who co-op together often, or just people in a guild that are grinding together. And seem to be hitting a wall with resource farming, and so where it doesn't make you have to sacrifice stats of your gear just to add rarity find. The key player of this setup is the Gravebind rope cuffs. Now I'm going into the trade. You guys can't see this because I am on console. They don't allow recording of anything outside of game, I guess. But the Gravebind rope cuffs, their stats are a percentage increase armor and energy. You gain whatever life per enemy killed, gain whatever mana per enemy killed. But the main thing of these that is the MVP of this setup is enemies killed by anyone in your presence counts as being killed by you instead. So what you want to do is whoever is planning on wearing the gloves is the one to have as much rarity find as possible in their gear. Now, my friend Sid, he's a lightning sorceress, so what we did was I had him put on whatever gear we could get with as much loot find, rarity find as possible, because he has the ability for ranged attacks, and the only thing is the presence radius is a bit, we're not exactly sure how close it is or how far it is, or so we're still working on that. But because he has all the gear with the rarity find, any kills that I get and any kills that he gets will trigger that rarity find percentage. I think we have a total of 100. Because he has 75 and I have 25 on my character, because I think the loot find also triggers or counts towards what I kill, even though it's counting that he's the one killing. So what I'm doing with my build is I'm running the Corona of the Red Sun Warrior Greathelm, because I'm playing as a Blood Mage with Life Leech. So the reason for this is none of the other stats, but when you leech life from a hit, allies in your presence also leech the same amount of life. So I'm basically tanking. I'm a tank in a way as a blood mage. Yes, I know. My life leech is keeping him and me alive, and I'm also running the Rise of the Phoenix Omen Crest Shield for the regenerate 3% of life per second, regenerate 3% of life per second while on low life, plus it gives me 25% block. So that's to help keep me alive and everything, and him alive mainly because he's ultimately it's a possibility that you're nerfing yourself a bit, because unless you have perfect roll rarity gear, you're going to be nerfing yourself a bit. So that's to help keep him alive. I'm running Fireball, the usual Fireball build, with Unleash, Wild Shard, Scatter Shot, and Inspiration. As you can see, Fireball is the only skill I have with four sockets. That's because in Act 2 Cruel Mode in the mines, this setup got us a greater Jeweler Orb. And so yeah, it works. Our resources are coming in better. We've gotten quite a few, about 2 or 3 uniques last night, just from yellow mobs in the mines. And it's a fun way to farm resources and gear, and we're getting a lot more yellows just randomly and off of yellow bosses instead of having to go and fight the main boss of the area. It's a fun way to loot and currency grind as a co-op team. He's buffing the damage output by shocking enemies. I'm spreading so much friggin' damage around with the way Fireball sets up, and all of that is life leached on hit, which is keeping him alive and me alive. And I also have the 25% block from the shield. I'm working slowly on trying to organize my attributes, because I'm thinking to maybe even get shield wall instead of just raise shield. But yeah, this is our setup, and it doesn't matter who has it or what your classes are. It's just the way I have it, because he's going to be standing more stationary with the sigil staff, the shielding, I think it's called, the staff of shielding. And just sitting there with spark and lightning skills buffing my damage, and all the while all the kills are credited to him for the loot find, for the rarity find. So we got sick of not getting any drops, and we were sick of nerfing one of us, and the one that was having the loot, the rarity find gear was always kind of screwed out of damage or out of resistances and defenses. So we come up with this idea where I have the life leech. I keep both of us healed while he buffs the damage and gets all the credit for the kills, and it triggers and works with his rarity, and it's been pretty fun, honestly. It's the closest I've seen to actually having any kind of healing mechanic as a character. And honestly, if you co-op a lot and you play a blood mage, check out the Corona Great Helm, because it might help you and help your team. You could actually, I'm not doing like top tier damage right now. I mainly, when I'm not playing solo, I'm mainly co-oping with my friend Sid, and we were tired of not getting good loot, so we tried to figure out a way, and I was like, wait a minute, does the Gravemind rope cuffs work in the way I think it does? And it does. He buffs my damage, I keep him alive. He buffs it by shocking everything. I kill everything. He gets credit for it if he's within the range. The only thing is we're trying to figure out visually the range of the presence mechanic, and finding out if there's any way that we can increase that at all, so we don't have to be like right on top of each other, and makes it a little more easier, because there's the one thing we do have a problem with is when I have a bunch of enemies on me, if they slip by me because of the presence effect, we're not sure how close he's going to be, so he tends to get jumped on and sometimes gets killed, especially if it's a pack of like a blue pack with like 5 different enemies within the blues. But yeah, I'm rambling now because I suck at making videos like this, but I figured if you co-op with a friend, there's not really any necessary classes, but it does help if you have life leech and use the Corona to help keep you and your friend alive while doing this. And it's kind of a fun way to loot grind and currency grind while playing co-op.